All right, happy Thursday, everybody. Hope y'all had a good week. And I hope that you've already watched the first video for the first half of the notes for this week. But this is the last half, so today you just have notes, and then tomorrow you have some practice problems to do. But super easy today as well. We're doing sales tax and total cost, and then tip and markups. Math 7, you have already learned this, but it's one of the lower test grades that we had. So I thought it was important for us to kind of go over it again, because this is stuff that you're going to use on a day-to-day basis. You can go to the grocery store and you can figure out how much you're going to have to pay at the cashier without having to, or you can figure it out knowing this, okay? So this is very important. This is stuff that you will use on a day-to-day basis. So Math 7, yes, you should already know this, but very important that you do understand it. Pre-algebra, you have not learned this yet. So I think we all pretty much know what a sales tax is. It's an additional amount of money charged on items that people buy. The total cost of an item is the regular price plus the sales tax. So we're going to write that in kind of like a little equation. So total cost equals regular price plus tax. Okay, I'm going to abbreviate. Regular price plus tax. So tax is basically on anything you will ever buy. So if you go to the store and you buy a pair of pants and the tag says that those pair of pants are $30, well, you don't just go check out and pay $30 flat dollars. The store is going to charge you tax. So normally it's going to be about 9 to 10% tax wherever you go around here. So you literally will never get away from tax. So let's look at example number 1. It says Drew wants to buy exercise equipment that costs $140 and the sales tax is 5.75%. What is the total cost of the equipment? Okay, so as you can see, there are two methods here. We've got a method 1 and a method 2, so it's two different ways that you can work the problem. Method 1 is what I prefer, and that's what I'll do throughout the notes. If you read through method 2 and you think you like that better, feel free, but like I said, I'm going to be using method 1. So first we need to find the sales tax. So that's the number one thing, okay? So we want to let T represent the sales tax. So T is our part, and I know we have done part equals percent times whole before. But our part is what we're trying to find, the tax, the portion of the money that we're going to owe, okay? It's going to be found by doing percent times whole. So just like at the beginning of the week, we learned that in order to take a percent, you can move that decimal 2 places to the left, and it gives you 0.0575. You can use either one of these. I always like to do the percent sign. So I normally do 5.75% times 140. It will still give you 805, okay? This right here is your tax. That's why we had T. So that's not how much you're paying. That's how much extra you're having to pay on top of that 140. Okay, so your total price is going to be the tax plus the original. So 805 plus 140. So you are leaving the store paying $148.05. Okay, so that's important to do. Unless it specifically says just find the tax, this will never be your answer. Okay, you will always have to add that back to that original cost. Okay. Excuse me. Method 2, like I said, you can read through that if you want to, but we're just going to kind of skip it because we're going to use method 1 throughout. So example A, it says, what is the total cost of a sweatshirt if the regular price is $42 and the sales tax is 5.5%? So I'm going to take my original cost, so 42, and I'm going to multiply that by the percent, and I'm just going to use that 5.5%. So multiply by 5.5%. Okay. So you're going to type that all in your calculator, kind of like we did previously throughout this week. So I've got 42 times, and I'm going to use 5.5 instead of the fraction. Remember, we should all know that 0.5 equals 1/2. So I get 2.31. So that 2.31. That right there is your tax, okay? So your total total cost is going to be that tax, $2.31, plus the original price, which was $42. Okay. So when you add those two together, let's see, 42 plus 2, 44. So $44.31. Remember, we're talking about money, so make sure you put that dollar sign there. Okay, so that is your total cost. You have to add that tax back to the original price to get your answer. Okay. Alright, so that is tax. Now we're looking at tips and markup. Nothing changes other than what the actual word means, okay? So a tip, or another word, might be called gratuity, especially if you go to a restaurant and you look at the bottom of your receipt. It might already say like 20% gratuity added to your bill. Gratuity is a tip, okay? So that money's going to your server. So it's a small amount of money in return for a service. If somebody does something for you, you give them a tip. You give them money. Okay? They bring your food out to you. They have given you a service. They've taken care of you for the whole hour you're there. You're going to pay them with a tip in return. Okay. So the total price, again, is the regular price of the service plus the tip. So it's the same as the tax. It's the regular price plus the tax. In this case, you're just doing plus the tip. Okay. So a store sells an item for more than it a store sells items for more than it pays for those items, so that they can make money. The amount of increase is called the markup. The selling price is the amount that the customer pays for an item. So Walmart might get that pair of pants for, I don't know, $20. Okay, Walmart pays $20 for that pair of pants. Well, you're not going to pay $20. You're going to pay $30. So Walmart is marking it up so that they make a profit on it. Okay, so they're making money. So a markup is just an increased price. So your selling price, you're trying to find out, okay, what is the customer going to have to pay for it? Okay. The steps stay the same as tax. You just basically have different words, different meanings. Okay. So example 2, it says a customer wants to tip 15% on a restaurant bill. That is $35. What would the total bill be? Okay, so again, we've got method 1 and method 2. Method 1 is what I'm going to prefer. Okay. So we know that the bill costs $35. We know that we want to tip 15%. So what we have to find out first is how much money are we tipping? We know it's going to be 15% of that bill, but how much is it? So again, we're still going to take that original price, and you're multiplying it by the percent. So like what we've been doing, we would say 35, which is the original price, times the 15%. Okay. So 35 times 15%. Remember to type that percent sign in your calculator if you're using that. Gives you $5.25. So that means you're paying the server $5.25 extra. Okay. So to find your total, the total cost is going to be $5.25, which remember that's the tip. Okay. So this right here is your tip. And then you're going to add that back to the original price. So however much your meal cost. Okay. So tip plus the meal. So that should be $40.25. Okay. That $40.25, that is your total cost right there. So that's how much you're leaving the restaurant paying. Okay. So again, remember they used the percent, or their decimal for their percent. So 15% is also 0.15. If you prefer to do that, that is totally okay. They still get the same exact answer. Okay. All right, then let's look at example number 3 down here. A haircut costs $20. Sales tax is 4.75%. Is $25 sufficient to cover the haircut with the tax and a 15% tip? Okay, so here we know that we have a total cost of a haircut, $20, okay? Or not a total cost, the original cost. Your tax is going to be 4.75%, And then you also have a 15% tip, okay? So you've got a tax and a tip in this case. You want to know, will $25 cover that bill? So when you have a tax and a tip, or maybe a markup and a tax, what you want to do is you want to, first off, add those two percentages together. So the tax is 4.75%, the tip is 15%. So add those two together, okay? So you're just adding the two. So that gives you a 19.75%, okay? Now this is exactly like what we've been doing before. So the 19.75% is what you're finding of that cost of the haircut. So your original haircut was $20. So you're going to multiply that by the tip and the tax, which we found was 19.75%. So the only thing that's changing here, because we have two different percentages, we're just adding those percentages together to give me one, okay? So when I multiply that together, you get 3.95. So remember that 3.95, that is tax and tip, okay? So that's what extra you're paying on top of that $20. So to find your total cost, you're taking that original haircut cost again, so 20, and you want to add that tax and tip back to it. So 20 plus 395 equals $23.95. How much money did they walk into the hair salon with? $25. So is that $25 enough to cover the cost of that haircut? Yes. Okay. And they say right here, since $23.95 is, what does that mean? Less than $25, then it's sufficient enough to cover that total cost. Okay. So the only thing different, again, you're adding those 2% together, and then it's exactly the same. You take the same steps. Okay. Look at C and D down here. Scott wants to tip his taxi cab driver 20% if his commute costs $15. What is the total cost? So, don't have a whole lot of room here. So, cost $15, so we're going to do 15 times however much he wants to tip, which in this case is 20%. So 15 times 20% gives you 3. Okay. So then the total, and I'm going to kind of come up here. So your total is going to be that 15 plus 3, which is $18. Remember that dollar sign. Okay. So how much is he paying the taxi cab driver? He's paying him $18 total. So that taxi cab driver is getting $3 extra for driving him around. Okay. Example D. Find the total cost of a spa treatment of $42, including a 6% tax and a 20% tip. Okay, so this has got a tax and a tip. So the first thing we want to do, we want to add those two percents together. So 6 plus 20 is a 26%. Okay. So this is your tax and tip. It's a 26% together. So to find how much you're paying, you want to take the original cost, so step 2, original cost, which is $42, and you are adding, multiplying. What am I doing? We already added, right? We're multiplying by that 26%. So 42 times 26% should give you $10.92, so $10.92. And then step 3 is to take that tax and tip and add it back to your original price. So 42 plus $10.92. So that gives you $52.92. So that's how much you're paying. Okay. So when you leave the spa treatment, you have paid $52.92. So those are your 3-step problems. Add that tax together and then multiply and then add again. So add, multiply, add. Okay? All right. Almost done. Example 4. Now we have a markup. So the store pays $56 for a GPS. The markup is 25%. So we want to find how much is the store selling it for. Okay. So nothing really changes. We're just taking that 25%, which in this case they did 0.25, multiplying by the original cost that they paid, okay, 56, which is 14. So that means they're selling it for 14 extra dollars. So 14 plus 56 is $70. So the selling price of that GPS system is $70. Okay. A store pays $150 for a portable basketball backboard, and the markup is 40%. So what is the selling price? So again, we know that they paid $150. So you're taking $150 and you're going to multiply by the percent that they're marking it up, which is 40%. You're trying to find the selling price. How much is that store selling it to you for? Okay. So 150 times 40% is 60. So remember, that's just the markup. So now you have to go back and you have to add that $60 back to the 150. Okay. So 150 plus 60 is $210. So the selling price of that backboard is $210. All right, so remember, tax, tip, markup, all of that is the same. Okay, the only thing that's a little bit different is if you have a tax and a tip, or a tax and a markup. Then you add those two percentages together and then multiply and add. Okay. All right, so number 1, $2.95 notebook, 5% tax. So you're just multiplying those two together. Remember to use that percent sign in your calculator. Sometimes my buttons on this calculator get sticky. All right, so my calculator actually gives me more than just 2 decimals, so it's giving me 0.1475. So rounding lesson real quick. Hopefully we haven't forgotten this. Remember, money is only in 2 decimal places, so you want to get this to 2 decimal places. So do you need to look at that 5? No, you can kind of act like that 5's not even there. What you need is that 7. So the 7 is larger than 5, so that means I'm going to add 1 to the 4. So this is going to be approximately 15 cents. Okay, please do not forget how to round. All right, so then now you want to, so that 15 cents is our tax, right? So we're finding the total cost. So we're going to take that $2.95 and we're going to add the 15 cents. So total, you're paying $3.10 for that notebook. All right, we have a $28 lunch and a 15% tip. So again, we're multiplying 28 times 15%. So that is 4.2. So remember, this is money. Again, you need 2 decimal places, so we're actually going to add that 0 there. So $4.20, not $4.02, okay? That again is your tip. So to find the total cost, you're going to take the price of the lunch, so 28, plus the $4.20 tip, which gives you a total of $32.20. Okay. All right, number 3, Janie went to have a manicure. I still want to have a manicure. Can't wait for them to open back up. A manicure that costs $30. She wanted to tip the technician 20% and taxes 5.75%. How much does she spend total for the manicure? Okay, so we know it costs $30. She has to tip 20%, or she chooses to, and then taxes 5.75%. So remember, first thing you want to do is you want to add those two percentages together. So 20 plus 5.75. So you're paying a 25.75% extra on that bill, okay? So that you can tip and tax. So together that's 25.75%. That is your tax and your tip. So now you need to find, okay, how much extra am I actually paying? So the original cost is $30. Multiply that by your percent, your tax and your tip. So 25.75. And I believe that gives you, let's see, 30 times 25.75% gives you 7.725. So again, this would round to 7.73. Okay. And then I'm going to come up here for total. So step 3, your total cost is going to be the $30, so how much you're charged, plus your tax and tip, which is $7.73. So once you add those together, you get $37.73. Add that dollar sign. That is the total cost that you are paying. Okay. And then last example, number 4, find the selling price of a $62.25 karaoke machine with a 60.5% markup. That is a large markup. All right, so you are going to multiply the $62.25, how much the store bought it for, times the markup, which was 60.5%. Okay. So once you do that, let's see, what do we get? 60.5%. 37.66125, so just 37.66. Okay. So remember, that's your markup. So then your total cost is the cost, just $62.25, plus the markup, which was $37.66. Which means you are paying $99.91. So that is the selling price. Okay, so Walmart bought it for $62.25. They marked it up $37.66. So then that means the selling price on that is $99.91. Okay. Are you still probably going to have to pay tax on that? Most definitely. Okay, that is just the price on the barcode, on the sticker in the store. Okay. Y'all can do number 5 together if you want to. That's just the 2 methods that they gave you on the first and second note sheet. We just use method 1 throughout, but if you want to describe both of those methods and then tell me which one you prefer, you can do so. Okay. But remember, this is all the same. So tax, tip, markup, it's all basically the same. Your steps are the same. The only thing that's different is when you have a tax tip, or a tax and a tip, or tax and a markup, or tip and a markup. Okay, that's when you want to add those 2 percentages together. All right. So I think your notes is all you have to do today. Yep. And then tomorrow you have the practice. Okay. So hopefully that won't take you too long. All right, hope y'all have a good rest of your Thursday.